I'm fishing 600 feet deep with an underwater camera for some of the best tasting bottom fish in the ocean. So without further ado, let's get right into this video. We started our morning making a 7-mile run out of Hillsborough Inlet to our first deep drop spot out in 600 feet of water. Once we got to the spot, it was time to start setting up our rig. Okay guys, we made it out of the inlet. We're about 4 or 5 miles offshore. We got the most important thing, you guys already know, the camera. We got our deep drop rig, and today the weather is absolutely beautiful. It's steaming out here, but blue waters and it's dead flat. So we're gonna get this deep drop rig in the water, and you guys already know, we got the underwater camera. We're trying to catch some of the tastiest deep drop fish, so let's see if we can get on them. So what we're using for bait, we got some bonita, and I'm gonna have some squid. That's what we got. We got these fresh bonita chunks as the bonita are running right now. And all I'm gonna do, go right through just like that. It's a really good tile bait right there. And then I'm gonna have 2 squids, 2 bonitas, have a mix and see what gets hit more. Okay, this is our squid now. I'm gonna go 2 hooks with this. Just nothing fancy about hooking it. Just right through, make sure it's nice and secure, just like that. And then I'm gonna go to the bottom one with some nice squid. And then we are ready to make our way down. We're gonna turn on that underwater camera, make our way down to the bottom. We got the underwater camera, we're gonna turn it on now. So just gonna flick this light, make sure it starts blinking, waiting nice and patiently. And it is recording. We have just positioned on the spot. My dad put us right on this spot. Now we're making our way down to the bottom. Let's do it. Austin, you're good to drop it. And here we go. I'm feeling good about today. You guys can see the weather is just insane. It's dead calm. It's blue skies. This is ideal deep drop conditions. There's no current. So hopefully they're down there. We can get into the actions. We'll see you guys with the underwater camera now at the bottom. We have just hit the bottom, and as you guys can see, it is pitch black down here. But if you look on the bottom left, there's the first fish. He's sitting right on the bottom, and it looks like he was attacking that bottom bait, and these tile fish usually don't come off the ground much at all. So I reeled in the line here thinking I had this fish on, but once I realized there was no fish on, I just dropped it right back down to the bottom, and this is where we were able to get into some action. You guys can now see we are surrounded by fish. There's about 4 fish on the camera, and they're all nice sized fish. But for some reason, again, I couldn't hook into a single one. And the one thing I love about this underwater camera is that I'm able to see what I'm doing wrong. And in my opinion, my biggest issue is I think I'm rushing a little too fast. I think if I give these fish a little longer on the bottom, I'll be coming up with 2 to 3 fish almost every drop. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think I'm doing wrong, because there's fish everywhere here, and for some reason on this first drop I couldn't seem to get a bite. Once I brought the baits up a little and reset it, we were able to get a little more action on this next drop. We are now back on the bottom, and look at all these fish tear up my bait right here. There are some giants. But then this one fish hit my camera right there, and that was not a tile fish. That looked like a different species there, and he came back again. And I don't know what that is. That looks like a snowy grouper, a small guy, but I'm not 100% sure. But again, I lifted the baits off the bottom once I thought I had something, and I came up empty-handed. So I just dropped it right back down, and we finally were able to hook into a fish here. We are now back on the bottom, and watch how many tile fish are. But look at the bottom right there. That fish with all those polka dots you guys are seeing, that's a snowy grouper. He's definitely not a giant, but he ended up being the first fish to hit our squid here. So once we felt this fish was hooked up, we started bringing him up, and stay tuned for drop number 2, because we were able to hook into one of those giant blue line tile fish, and we were able to capture it all on camera. We now had this fish right under the boat, and these snowy grouper and blue line tile fish are right now in season, and you really only want to target these fish when they're in season, because it's insanely hard to descend one of these fish 600 feet deep. So I highly recommend only targeting these fish when they're in season. So we were successfully able to land this beautiful snowy grouper, and now it's time to reset for drop number 2. So we reset the electric reel and we put some new squids and bonito on, and then we made our way back down 600 feet deep, and this is where we were able to hook into a giant fish. We're now about 2 minutes into dropping, and we're about 10 seconds right off the bottom. And the best thing about the weather today was that when it's so flat and the current's good, it takes about a minute or two to hit bottom. On those bad days, it could take up to 5 minutes just to get down to the bottom. But we're finally at the bottom here, and it took a little longer this drop to finally get into that first fish. So if you guys look on the bottom right, there's another tilefish. Definitely not a giant, but it was a nice sized fish, and the goal of this video was to catch a tilefish. So we waited a little longer down here, and then a nice sized tilefish finally showed up. This tilefish at first swallowed our bait, and honestly this was a really nice sized blue line tilefish, but he got right off the hook. But this fish was really aggressive. About 5 seconds later, he came back around and smacked that same exact bait. And it looks like we had him here. And then if you guys see on the bottom, there's another nice sized blue line tilefish. It looks like we just ran into another gold mine down here. We now patiently waited as these fish were going crazy over our squid. And if you guys have any crazy ideas of where you would want to see us drop this underwater camera next, let us know in the comments down below. But we finally were able to hook into this fish, and you guys can see he was going absolutely nuts, and this is a nice sized blue line tilefish. So once we knew this fish was hooked, we started bringing him up as fast as possible, and this is usually where you'll lose these fish. I've lost so many nice sized fish right on the camera at this point in the video. After fighting this fish for about 4 minutes, we now had this fish right under the boat.
You guys seen this on the camera? This is a stud. I could see it from here. Oh, that is a tilefish. Oh my god.
Wow, that is a big boy.
That is how you end a trip. That's how we do a trip today. That's a blue line right there.
That is as big as they get right there.
That's a stud tile, and we're gonna have to end on that. We hope you guys enjoyed this fishing video, and we hope to see you in the next Barjack's Family fishing video.